This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roland Dupre, and I'm with East Hartford Public Library, and this is Meet the Author. We have three local authors here. The first person is Fitzroy Gordon. He's an IT security specialist. He's been working at that job for 16 years, and he and Aaron Gordon wrote a book called Cybersecurity. Now I'm going to share my screen and we're going to show the cover of that book. Oops. There's the cover. Can everybody see the cover? So no? Oh dear. Okay. So somehow I'm not sharing my screen well enough, I think. Is that right? Yeah. Here it goes. There it is. Okay. Cybersecurity Explorers. And this is, we don't have any other book in this subject area in the library. And I can tell you it's a really rare subject and a very necessary subject. So I'm going to pass it to you, Fitzroy, and you go ahead and talk about it. Let me stop my sharing.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rolanda. Again, thank you, Lauren Simone Publishing, for the opportunity to be here and to share some of the experience Aaron and I have in the field of cybersecurity. Today, I'm just going to do a quick run over how the book came into being. And funny enough, this started as a presentation with my son, who is the main character of the book. In the book, his name is Alec Raif, and he is one of this assistant author, if that's the correct term that is being used. But he is a coder for the past 2 years, started coding at the age of 11. So he has been in coding. So is the institution, which I don't think I could call on this forum, asked me to do a presentation based on where I work. And when we did the presentation, we said, why not make it in a book? And this is where we are today. I presented to the Lauren Simone Publishing, Dr. Melissa Sujan, and she, took it away.
That is fantastic. So how did it start?
Okay, great. So after we started the book, writing the book, we had to go back and forth. We had to figure out information security is a very broad area. But at the same time, especially during the COVID pandemic, because we wrote this started around 2019, everything was finished in 2020. Yeah, around 2020. We realized that everybody was going online. And in going online, there were a lot of risk. There was a lot of vulnerabilities. There was a lot of hackers. There was a lot of theft and scamming. And then we realized that some of these scamming and bad actors started not only with the parents, but also with the kids, because they are the ones that are on the video games, meeting friends, friends that they have never met in real life. I said to my son jokingly, do you know that one of the persons that you're playing with is a 50-year-old guy and is not really a 15-year-old boy? I had to say that to him because this guy was online morning, noon, and night. So I said, oh, that's a problem. So we started out by saying, let us target the kids, letting them get aware pretty early about computer security and cybersecurity. So in the book, Cybersecurity Explorers, you'll notice that we try to go in as a teaching paradigm. We're teaching kids about different areas of computer, but we have Alec as one of the students asking questions about security, asking questions about safety, it was digging deep into the book. And with that, we created a character, which was myself, Alec, and his bigger brother, Aaron, who is the co-author of the book. And the story just went around, they're playing video games as well. And they're wondering, oh, communication goes from my computer here in the US to, let's say, to Europe, let's say to Jamaica, let's say to different places. And in doing that, we expose the user earlier, or the reader early, into understanding that networking is pretty much like the branch of a tree. You have the leaves, which are different segments of the network or different computers of the network, but there's only one vine and that, one main trunk, and that main trunk is what we call the internet or the World Wide Web. So using that, we're trying to attract the children, younger age, level 12, and we're trying to reach, we had this discussion with Lawrence Summon Publishing, should we try to reach for 14-year-olds as well? So we have to think about the depth of the information. So we correlate that to the branch of a tree, which was very important. There's one trunk, but there are many variation of leaves. There are many types of leaves. And some of these leaves, they will rot, but that rot in our world will be a bad actor coming in to steal data. So that is how we came about and we went into the book. As we continue in the book, we create a subsection where we spoke about networking. Then we shifted gear and went into cybersecurity, which is the main feature of the book. Within the cybersecurity framework, we spoke about cyber criminals. What is it that they're trying to get? We spoke about cyber criminals. What is it that they're trying to achieve? And one of the things is they try to get your credit card. They try to get your social security numbers. They try to get your name and address, which by itself is not really something serious based on data characterization. But once they get the name and address, but also get your credit card information, that can be tied to a zip code, and then they can be useful. So we spoke about how those relationships work, but we try to break it down for the younger generation as they read.
So you being an IT specialist, you know a lot more in depth than most of the readers. And was it a challenge to try to simplify what you know? I mean, was that the challenge? Because I've read this book and it's great, as you say, it's for the younger, starting to read. I mean, kids will love this book, I think, because it's so different. And if they love computers, they're going to go, want to know this stuff. And it's so clear. The precepts and the concepts, rather, that you put forth are so clearly stated. It's wonderful. I mean, it helps a lot. Now, was it a challenge? Was that a challenge?
Yes, it was. And I think with a couple of emails with my publisher, we went back and forth with the ease. We went back and forth with the depth, too much information, too little information, and we had to strike a balance. Yeah. That was a part of the work because my understanding of networking and the depth of networking and the depth of IP addresses was a bit challenging. And I remember one day, Dr. Sujan came over and said, yes, you're talking about IP addresses, but can you break it down a little bit more? So at that point, we had to go into and say, okay, you have an address. And in that address, you have 114 Fitz Street, right? And after that, we have what we call a zip code. So I had to break it down in terms of what your IP address is, where your IP address is that home address for your computer, and every single device on the internet do have an IP address. And just because of that fact, there's a danger with any or every device that holds an IP address. Now I had to break that down to the kids. So we use our comparison was using your home address, your zip code, what's permanent address. So yes, it was a challenge.
But it's really nice how you broke it down and how you made it very clear. The clarity is great. Are you thinking of doing more books, or was this enough for you?
When we started, the book actually is the Aaron and Alex series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. On the second round of review, we decided, you know what, we have to make this a series, because one of the things about children's book, I learned a lot during this period, by the way, about books, is there's a certain page number you have to think about. For me, I have a doctorate in information security assurance, and I work with Harvard Business School. So we're not shy of reading, or we're not shy of putting information out there. I've situations where people, that's too much information, Fitzroy, just too much. So what I had to do was consider that we had to think about creating a series that will impact and talk about the different aspects of cybersecurity. This is an introduction of cybersecurity, but the
Oh,
working portion of cybersecurity, there's application development cybersecurity, and we haven't even gone into the new stuff, such as NFTs. Maybe you guys will start about NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and the dangers or the benefits, whatever you're taking, we want to try to keep it. But these kids need to know, and why we talk about NFTs and cryptocurrencies and online gaming, we warn them about the dangers of that sort of stuff. And if they're actually involved in gaming, for instance, our kids play, I forgot what the game is called, Roblox. And Roblox use a currency that is called Robux. I found this out last year, by the way. So they play Roblox, but it uses a currency, a digital currency called Robux, where I have to take my hard-earned cash and go to the video game store, buy this Robux to give them, transform it so that they can buy things on Roblox. So they have started, this change has started. And within the next 5 to 10 years, it's gonna be more dynamic. It's gonna be an ever-changing world. I have 2 teenagers. One of them is Aaron. He's now 19, 20, he's now 20. And I didn't have him playing a lot of video games or doing certain things on computer. I kind of break it down. But the younger ones, I realized pretty early that if I leave them behind in certain technological stuff, they are going to be behind, because that is where technology is going, believe it or not. So I took those in consideration, and I created our Aaron and Alex series. So there will be more coming out.
great, great. And maybe for older kids then too, it sounds like.
Yes.
So as
yes,
you go through the series, you might do it for
yes.
books for older kids.
For older kids, as we go through up to maybe, I'll stick, I decided to stick with the younger ones and the teens that are in school, because going beyond that, there's a plethora of books out there. There's a lot of stuff out there. I'm going to stick to the teens, the younger ones, and then to teens for this, just to talk about security.
That's great. So the book is at the library. We have 2 copies of it. So
Okay.
thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Lauren Simone Publishing too.
Yes, and I just want to share, I guess I'll be in closing now.
Yep, yep.
I just want to share that at the end of the book, we created a word puzzle, a crossword puzzle for the kids as well. So we wanted also to give the reader an opportunity to actually apply what they learn. And in that, we address kids in terms of providing information to their parents. You know, there's a little story at the back that said, tell your mom, tell your grandma, do not open an email, do not open the attachment. When I get, if you have things to throw away, like mails, do not throw one with your name and your address, do something with it. So a part of that is also to give them information to pass on to others that they interact with. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank
What
you.
good information. Thank you.
Appreciate it, appreciate it.